Gimel v'chol ze yuvan inyan paro. And with all of this, you can understand the concept of paro. Shelakach nikra paro al shem bechinas oref, that he's called paro because of the back of the neck. Mipnei sheshora shinikasu l'mayla mesiter dekadusha umebechinas oref. That the root of his nurturance above in the side of holiness is from the concept of the nape of the neck. Shu bechinas achoraim de keser elyon, which is the back concept of keser, of the supernal crown. Shmisham nimshach chayus lebechinas mashu tafel, that from there is drawn the life force to the concept that is secondary and subservient. Ulezeh amar mi havaya asher shma bekolo, and for this reason he says, who is havaya, that I should listen to his voice. Kishem havaya atzmo hu bebechinas yislap shus ratuna elyon bechachma ubina umidos, because the name Havaya itself is a concept of enclothement in the supernal will, and wisdom and understanding, and the emotional attributes in speech. That's the concept of the four letters of the Shem Havaya. Yud Simtzum de Nekuda Chachma. That Yud is the confinement of the point of wisdom. Hey Bina, Vav Midos, Hey Achrona, the Bechinas Dibor. So the Hey is Bina, and the Vav is the emotional attributes, and the last Hey is the concept of speech. Kidu, as is known, V'kol Zehainu Kasher Ora Shefa Nimshach Mebechinas Pnimius Haratzon B'chachma Kanal, and all of that is when you're drawing down from the inner concept of the will into wisdom. B'chachma Shebetorah Kanal, the wisdom of Torah, Ba'arichus, like we explained at length. Ukavekamosh Shekaz B'dibur Amaskil V'lo Ava Hanal Shal Yidei Bechinas Shem Havaya Shebenefesh. Nimshach Kemokin Lamaila Hamshach Osorein Sof Be'eser Sfiros, like it's brought in the Mamar of Lo Ava, that through the name Havaya, and the soul is drawn above as well. Similarly, to draw down the infinite light into the 10 Sfiros, just like you drew it down into your soul. Shezeu Shem Havaya, that's the name Havaya. Vayimashikaz Vel Pasuk V'chol Banayach Lemudei Havaya, and look what it says about this idea. And all your sons are learners of Havaya. They're mamshich into Havaya. Achine shoresh yinikas paro mebichinas oref the arichan pin. But the root of the nurturance of paro is from the nape of the neck of arich. Shulamayla mebichinas islab shusaratzun bechachma shibimochin, which is higher than the concept of the enclothement of will into wisdom of the mind. Afalpi shuhu rak bechinas achoraim ve'oref the keser kanal, even though he's only the backside, so to speak, the nape of the neck of that corresponds with keser. Alkin amar mi havaya sheresh machuludeos, for even though he's only the backside of keser, but it's higher than the concept of the shem havaya. That's mislabish first into chachma. Therefore he says, who is havaya? That he's above that level. Shavaya hu bechachma shalamata v'lo bekeser. That havaya corresponds with what's in wisdom, that's below and not in the crown of keser. Shalamayla mina chachma, that's above wisdom chulu. Alkin lo haya yodea m'shem havaya klal. Therefore he didn't know from the name havaya at all. V'zeu gam kinatam shaya ikar bechinas klipos de paro lamata in hachutzpa v'hais nasus, and therefore that's also the same reason, because he got from the haughtiness of the crown of keser. That's why paro below was also a concept of chutzpah and lifting himself up of haughtiness. Like he says that the Nile is to me and I have made myself. That his root is in the concept of exaltedness, in the back concept of keser. And is drawn to him the flow in the backside, so to speak, just automatically, secondarily, like someone who throws it behind their shoulders, because they don't hold any place. They're not consequential. Even though he exalted himself and lifted himself up in a haughty way, like we explained, like we explained with the idea of the deadly spider that grasps with its hands, and that's the concept of paro is the letters of the back of the neck, just like the back of the neck of a person's head, below the because the main concept of life force of a person is drawn from the mind in the head, to the heart, and therefore the main light of life force is recognized in the person's countenance, specifically in the front, because that's where the main life force is. But also into the back of the neck are drawn veins and sinews that are thick, because it's drawn to them as well, life force, but it's the external life force, so to speak, secondarily, just like any flow where you have the external, it's drawn, so to speak, secondarily to the inner flow. In general, that's the concept of the countenance in the back, within all types of flow, in any kind of flow. Even Bipratius called Partsufim Datzilus. And with this you can understand in particular all the Partsufim of Atzilus, it's a concept of that you'll see my countenance but not my backside, like Hashem told Moshe. Aside from the concept of the inner concept of Keser, the Pnimis HaKeser, where there's no backside there at all, but it's all the countenance as is known. And this is the statement that we were slaves to Paro in Egypt, that we, the sons of Israel, that refers to Zer Anpin, Parshas Vayikra, Parshas Tzadik Chesel, Pasuk Shimuel Yisrael Avichem, like it's brought in Parshas Vayikra, that says, listen to Yisrael, your father, Shimuel Yisrael Shabashamayim Avichem, that it says there in the Medrash, listen to Yisrael, that's in the heaven, your father. And the explanation of Yisrael, that's in the heaven, your father, at first glance, isn't something understood at all. What kind of statement is that? That Yisrael, that's in the heaven, is your father. But it makes sense if you say that it's referring to Zav Atzilus Shenikra Yisrael, that's called Yisrael Hashem Kisarisem Elokim, because of the concept of that which rules over Elokim, Shu Moshel Al Shem Elokim Chulu, that rules over the concept of the name Elokim. So to have Shem Havaya of Zah rules over Shem Elokim, V'ayin B'me'ori Or, Os Yud, Simen Lamed Minyan Yisrael V'nikra Vichem, that there in the Me'ori Or explains the Erech of Yisrael, and it says it's called Avichem Shabash, your father, Shemisham Shoresh Haneshamos, that from there, from that spiritual concept, is the root of the souls. Mishnas Chasidim, and that's why it's written in Mishnas Chasidim about this mitzvah of Korban Pesach and so forth. And the Yitzias Mitzrayim, Anu B'nei Zah, that we, the sons of Zeran Pina Nekra Yisrael Delela, it's called Yisrael above. Vahinu Amidus, Datzilus, that is the attributes of Atzilus. Vahinu Mashakaza B'Torah Or Al Pasuk V'Yela Shemos B'nei Yisrael Abai Mitzrayim. Lucas brought in Torah Or on the verse, and these are the names of the sons of Israel that came down to Mitzrayim. Hainu Avadim LeParo, that is slaves to Paro B'Shor B'Chinas Oref Tarich Anpin, who in his root is the concept of the back of the neck of Arich Shemisham Shor Shinikas Paro, that from there is the nurturance, the root of the nurturance of Paro, Agash Milamata, that is below. And the concept is, as it's written, Vayamos Yosef V'Cholad Dorahu Chulu, that Yosef died, and all of that generation, Yaakov Melech Chadash Al Mitzrayim Asher Lo Yadas Yosef Chulu, and a new king got up unto Egypt, who did not know Yosef, L'Chora Ein Zerak Tam Pashut. And at first glance, this is only a simple reason, Al Pi Darchei Teva, according to the ways of nature. The Be'od Yosef Moshe lo malach al Mitzrayim, that while Yosef was still ruling and king over Egypt, lo haya Paro gozer gezeros kashos. So Paro did not make harsh decrees. Ach mepnei shemes Yosef v'yakum melech chadash chulu, but because Yosef died and a new king got up, and so forth. V'zeo siba hasiba l'shibud b'nei Yisrael ba'avodah kash, and that was seemingly the natural reason for the subjugation of the sons of Israel with harsh labor. Aval hine be'emes gam al pi sod v'derech hanister ole tamzeh. But in truth, also according to the secrets and the hidden ways of interpretation, this explanation also, this reason also makes sense, just as it is in the revealed, al derech hapashut, in the simple explanation. And how is that? The hine yidua, because it's known, the ha'avos hina merkava, that the forefathers are a chariot, the hainu shein bechinas merkava lebechinas hamidus dezadat silos chulu, that is that they are a supernal chariot to that they are a chariot to the supernal attributes of zir ampin of atzilus. Avraham lebechinas hachesed, Yitzchak lebechinas hagvura chulu, that Avraham is a chariot to the attribute of kindness, and Yitzchak to the attribute of strength and strictness of gvura. Bechinas hamidus de atzilus mekablim or v'shefa hapnimis mi bechinas chachma bina de atzilus, and the attributes of atzilus receive their light and flow from their inner light and flow from the concept of chachma and bina vatzilus v'chachma ma'ayin timatzeh mi bechinas pnimis hakeser, and the wisdom of chachma gets from naught, from the concept of the inner concept of keser shenekra pnimius haratzon v'chevetz kanal, which is the inner will and desire, like we said, the concept of chayfetz. So the midos and the avos get from the concept of the pnimius. So certainly then was shining onto the forefathers from this concept of the supernal countenance of the front and not the back. Like we said about the concept of Hashem should shine his countenance. He should shine his countenance to you. Like it says by Avraham, that you should travel in front of me specifically. V'gam Yaakov amar Elokei Avraham chulu, and also Yaakov said that the Elokav Avraham was with me, was that same level. Ki yedua shegimel kavin chachma chesed netzach bina gvurahod das tiferes yitzod achuzim miyuchadim be'atzmius u'pnimius hakeser, that all three kavin are attached and united with the essence of the inner concept of keser. So Avram, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, which are coming from the three kavin, are attached to the panimius of the keser. And from them, from these three kavin receives the avos receive, and they are the merkava as is known. And in Torah or Parshas Yisro binyan ha'avos hin ha'merkava binyan acher memashakazu shikasavna. And in Torah or in Parshas Yisro explains this idea in a different way. Sha'avos hin chagas datzilus, that the avos correspond with chesed gvura tiferes of atzilus shen bechinas merkava v'halos bechinas chachma bina datzilus, that it's their job, so to speak, to elevate the concept of chachma and bina of atzilus. So instead of concentrating on the fact that they have a hashpah from chachma bina, and chachma bina gets from keser, the concept of the pnimius hachefetz, we explain the avos as the merkava, that the merkava is a chariot to lift up and elevates the chachma bina of atzilus. Legabe or hakeser, to the light of keser. Ulahamshich misham hamshacha bechachma bina, and then drawn down from there the flow to chachma bina v'zeu inyan Shema Yisrael Havaya Elokeinu, and that's the concept of listen Yisrael Havaya Azar Elokeinu Shekhdei liyos Havaya Elokeinu hu yichud Abba ve'ima, that in order to have the concept of Havaya Elokeinu, which is this union of chachma bina of Abba and Ima, makdimin lomar Shema Yisrael, we preface by saying, listen Israel, Ki Yisrael hu yachid chulu ein sham, because Israel is the one that unites them, that you have to have the merkava below, the concept of Israel, the Merkava that lifts up Ava and Ima to unite them, to draw down from Keser, so they can have a Yichud. Ein Sham, look over there. L'chein Yuven bepshitus Yosef should be Yemei Ha'avos Hayan Nimshach B'chinas Yar Havaya Panav Ilacha. And according to this, you can understand more simply how in the days of the Avos you drew down the concept of Hashem will shine His countenance towards you. Shein Himshichu Himshach Hazoyin Sof Mamosh. They drew down the light of the infinite truly B'chlolos Hatzilus in general into the world of Atzilus. V'gam Achrei Mosa Avos. And so too after the death of the fathers, Hashem shined His countenance from the inner concept of the will, and the true inner will of Hashem to the tribes, Gamkein as well, that even though the tribes, their root spiritually is from the concept of Malchus of Atzilus, Yud Gimel Gvulei Alachson de Nukva, which are the 12 diagonals of the parts of Nukva, V'nikra Yud Beis Bakar, Shetachas Yam Shel Shlomo, and they're called the 12 cattle that are underneath the sea of Shlomo. V'kamosh Kasu v'hayamun made alehem milamayla, like it says that the sea stood above them, on top above them. Zohar, like it explains this idea in the Zohar. Nonetheless, nonetheless, the root of the 12 tribes is also in the masculine world, that masculine concept, not just Malchus, which is that they're truly rooted in the 6 sides of Zeranpin, not just Nukva, but the diagonals, as they are rooted in the concept of 6 sides of Za within Atzilus in the masculine. And that's why it says that there were elevated the tribes of Yud-K. What does it mean? They went up, these tribes, the tribes as they are in Nukva, to the way they exist on the level of Zeranpin, that they're called the tribes of Yud-K, Meharas Abba ve'ima. What does it mean, Shiftei Ka? That they come from a glimmer of Abba and Ima, which is Yud-K. Shibizah, in Zeranpin, Vazhima Mekablim Gamkin Mibichnes Pnimius Haratzon, Vachefetz Shibechachma Bina, that then they also receive from the concept of the inner will and desire of Chefetz that's within the Chachma Bina Hamulubish B'midus Al Yonos, that's enclosed in the supernal attributes Shinikrok Shiftei Ka, that are called the tribes of Yud-K, Edus L'Yisrael, and now within parentheses, the testimony for Israel, Shmamshichim Mibichines Adayim, that they draw down from the concept of Adayim, which are jewelry. So what is the Edus here? It's a concept of jewelry. Jewelry, Hainu Ha'aras HaKeser, that the jewelry refers to the glimmer of Keser. That's Edus L'Yisrael. Like it says on the Mishkan of Edus, the Mishkan of Edi, of the jewelry that draws down from Keser Sher Pukad, that was commanded by Moshe, helping Moshe. So Asher Pukad, I guess, also is connected to that idea, even though it's Achoraim of one of the Shemos of Vaya. Vayim b'mikdash melech, so Parshas Vayishlach daf kufayin vav amar aleph sheshor shir beis gvulei alachson shem yud beis shvatim hu metiferes ta'arich. And in Mikdash Melech Vayishlach, it explains that the root of the 12 diagonals, which are the 12 tribes, is rooted in the Tiferes of Arich of Keser, which I guess is, so to speak, the middle, that where everything extends from to all the other Spheros and Midos, to create the diagonal, so to speak. Look what's brought in Parshas Nasok in explaining that you swore to our forefathers from the days of yore. That what are Miyamei Kedem? The Kail Yud Beis Shvatim Sheshorshim Gamkin Min Yud Gimel Tikunei Dikna. That refers to the 12 tribes as they're rooted in the 13 attributes of the decorations of the beard. In Keser, I guess with the kolo. Fine, but Parshas b'midbar daf kufir chesam al beis vayin mashikasav al pasuk v'yachil chesam manu mashikasav softi b'maschil v'yamidi chodesh b'chodsho. V'al derech mashal hashevit shel ilan, and allegorically like the branch of a tree, hamis ached im ha'ilan, that's united with a tree, ki hu anaf, because it's a branch, v'nimshach b'amshach ha'meguf ha'ilan, and is drawn down in flow from the body of the tree itself, av she'inu ela chelik katan meguf shel ilan, and even though it's only a small portion of the body of the tree, mikol makom min gufa shel ilan nechshav, nonetheless it's considered as part of the body of the tree, mis ached imo, and united with it, nimshach lahala me'ekra ilan, only that it spreads out from the main part of the tree, ukidua deshadi basa nofe basari karo, and as is known, the halacha that we say that the branches that come out from the tree, we rule that it's connected to the, and we only consider the main part of the trunk of the tree, b'chol makom, in all places, even if it's, so to speak, you want to know whose tree this belongs to, you don't go after the branch, but you see where the branch is attached to. But after the tribes died, in that generation, as nifsak ha'aros pnimius haratzon v'chefetz ha'maitzil min bnei Yisrael, then it stopped these inner lights and will from the inner desire of the emanator to the sons of Israel, shenoldu achar hashvatim, to those that were born after the tribes, that is to say, that they descended to a lower level. They didn't reach all that high, like the Shvatim did, like the concept of that you turn the back of your neck to me and not your face. And because of this, it caused that they should be subjugated to Paro, canal that grasps onto the back of the neck of Arich. So because the Shvatim were able to reach up all the way to Keser and to the Pnimius, that's why we weren't subjugated to the Chitzonius of Arich. And that's why it says that Yosef died and all his brothers in that whole generation, and then a new king rose up that was able to rule over what was left, the lower level. Because of Yosef Dafka, why does it say Yosef specifically? Why does it single him out from the other Shvatim? Because in terms of spiritual levels, Yosef corresponds with a level that's higher than his brothers, the tribes. Like it's brought in the Mamar about how here we are gathering sheaves, all the brothers, they bow down to Yosef. That he corresponds with the, they correspond, like we said, with Partzuf Nukva. It's explained in another place that Yosef corresponds with Yesod in comparison to as it is in Atzilus, whereas the Shvatim are the Merkavta Tata. And Yosef corresponds more with the Merkavta Ilah. And look what's brought on the verse, that Yosef is the one who grows, that he draws down an extra concept of a multitude of light, alei ayin, above the eye, lamayla mehalas mayin nukfin, that is above the concept of the elevation of the feminine waters, the shma, sham ayin chlu, above the ayin of shma, the big ayin, that's in the word shma, that shma is sham ayin chlu, that there you have the eye. But rather the concept of listen, Israel. Look over there to understand that. But at any rate, so he's above the ayin. Look what's brought on the verse, that his arms were decked with the fine gold. Therefore, While Yosef was still alive, he drew down the light of Keser, Yadav that he should shine the countenance towards you. And that's why the verse says that I have given you, Yosef, an extra portion over your brothers, specifically Shechem, the concept of the Aharon, Shechem Aharon, the backside and the back of the shoulders, Echad, Shechem Echad, the concept of making that backside into and attaching it to Echad, to Hashem Echad, uniting it with his unity. And even when one of the other Shvatim was alive, it still remained that way. He still had that hashpa. But after all his brothers died, so he didn't draw down from the inner concept of Arich into Yisrael, like the concept of Hashem should shine his countenance to you, but rather they received flow and nurturance from the backside, the nape of the neck of Arich, that that's where Paro got his nurturance above. Therefore, it's an exile, to receive our nurturance from Paro below, and not only that, that we were slaves to Paro, because after it's drawn down in the backside, and the world is then conducted in darkness, in the garment of nature, and is drawn through the concept of the stars. So automatically you had these many Egyptians, and their mazel was the sheep, Rosh Hayud Bez Mazalos, the head of the 12 constellations. Therefore they were successful in ruling over the world, and Israel were subjugated to them. Since Israel was also only coming down, also only from the backside. And in this concept, Paro in Egypt received in a greater measure, mitamana, like we explained, the reason Shiur that they were many, and their mazel was mazel tla. And we can further say that when the flow comes in a way of the backside, that's when the idol worshippers receive more than Israel, because not like their portion is the portion of Yaakov. Because Yisrael, they correspond with the front of the countenance, and they receive from the supernal wisdom, that when it's panim, that's when we get. Therefore, Israel cannot receive from this type of flow, which is from the back, which is without scrutinizing, without any type of calculation. That's not our portion. That we come from Chochmah, and Chochmah is the one that calculates and figures out the right amount. Therefore, when it comes down without the cheshbon, that's not our portion. And look what it's brought about Mishalach Paro, and that's what it says in Parshas Nitzavim. You can understand this verse now. Lest you have amongst you a man who blesses his heart to say, I'll have peace because I'll go with the freedom of my heart, meaning to say, like, with this without measure, this flow without diktuk. That is to say that even if he goes in the freedom of his heart, nonetheless he'll bless himself in his heart to say that he will receive from this concept of just like darkness is like light, and like Paro, that didn't make distinctions and so forth and brought down from the Achoraim. And about this it says, Hashem will not desire to forgive him, because Yisrael comes from the inner and not from that idea, like it says that from the beginning, before Israel, that they're called the beginning. They can only receive from the concept of the inner. It needs to be looked into in Igeras Tshuva in Perek Vav in Tanya, where it discusses that we do not have in our hands to take away from the Shalvas Harashayim, the complacency, the peace that the wicked are able to achieve, because that seems to imply that they're getting from that concept of paro. And the whole idea that a person who has karis and so forth gets znotel chelik berosh and can live these days shivim shana and live their life b'ne'imim, like he says in Tanya. But here we're implying that the portion of Yaakov is specifically the pnimius, not the chitzonius, that a person shouldn't say that they can go b'shrirus libi and get from the kechashecha ka'ora. So that needs looking into, how to be metavech these two perushim. Ketzer inyan paro ha'oref mi havaya. So the concept of paro, who's the back of the neck, and since he's drawing down from higher than shem havaya of Atzilus, he says, who is havaya? Avadim haynu b'chinas Zeranpin nekra Yisrael, and we were slaves to Paro, that is the sons of Zeranpin, that's called Yisrael. Haynu al Yadav Yamos Yosef, and that is through Yosef. How Yosef died, Ha'avos hin Merkava, and the forefathers are the Merkava, v'gam Shvatim Shivdeka Edus L'Yisrael, and the Shvatim are the Shvatim of Yudkev Chochma Bina, testimony to Israel from the concept of Edi of Keser. And Paras Yosef Shechem Echad Alechecha, Yosef was unique amongst the Shvatim, that he had this extra flow and united the Shechem, the backside, to Echad, to the concept of Echad. But afterward, the Shvatim died, then is drawn down to the concept of Aharon, and we were enslaved to that.